Cool, and we're live. Today it's me and Yarrow. We'll be focusing on Yarrow's pull request on updates for the Hangouts feature. Right. So I was surprised that this Hangouts feature got a pull request was a lot larger than I expected. To be honest, I thought it was just updating the link. Looks like a lot more happened.
Yeah, but
Would you care to give me a...
the thing is, all the stuff that happened before you asked me to update the link. So it was just a matter of adding the link, because that was, we were planning to do that, the last thing, updating the link, and so that's what we did. We added as the last thing.
Okay. Just gonna have a quick look at it. Right.
I'm not seeing your screen, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's my problem. Wait a second. Yeah, okay, I can see now.
Right. So it looks like when I'm not signed in, well, minor issue, UI stuff. Okay.
Yeah, the UI needs some work on it. I was planning to do that later at some point. But yes, if you're not logged in, then you...
What is this? There is an extra row down here that apparently is empty all the time.
Oh, that's weird. What is that? Wait a second. I don't have that. That's kind of weird.
Okay. If Hangout started, can you move this above this div? Because this div is always just coming up empty. Do you know what I mean?
No. Wait a second. Wait a second, Brian. All the divs should be in the right place. Thing is, what browser are you in, by the way?
Sorry?
What browser are you in?
Chrome.
Chrome. So we should be
I
having the
think,
same thing, but
yeah,
we're not
the
having this thing.
problem is line 68, show HTML. Can you see it?
Yeah.
That if statement should be outside the div instead of inside. So what you're getting is, if the Hangout is not started, you'll get an empty div, which has
Oh, you mean the empty div which appears there? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sure. Wait, Brian. Wait a second. Let me switch to another branch. It seems like I am in the wrong place. Strange. Strange.
I'll just put a comment there anyway.
Right.
Now, is there a reason this code here is not inside event.js or something?
Yes. It's not being read. My other machine.
Whoa, hold on, Yarrow. Your sound is breaking up very badly. I didn't hear anything you said.
Yeah, wait a second.
It's better now.
Right. Yeah, I posted a link into Slack asking for help. The thing is, I tried to include the JS file, but it's just empty. The same kind of problem we had in production the other day.
Okay, I mean, you just can go inside. The shared one, can't it?
Which
Or
one?
if, no real reason. If it's causing problems, then forget about it. If it's coming up empty, that's weird.
I've tried all kinds of things. I've tried it. Well, I was including it in the body, and it was coming out empty. And then I tried to. Yeah, well, I was just trying to include it in the body, and it was just empty. The link when I would look in the source, I would see the script tag with a link to the correct place, but when I click on it, the file is just empty.
Okay, that's very strange. Because I've never had that problem before.
No idea, honestly. Why? Oh yes, yes. Yeah, I can see it. Never mind. I can see that in the last commit, John has added some stuff which shouldn't be there, but that's okay.
Mm,
Anyway, yeah. So the JS file, I tried to move that into the events.js, and it just didn't work. Let's leave it here for now, and then work out what the problem is, and I will move it. I will extract it out into a separate file.
right.
Do you remember which line you told me about the if statement? Oh yeah, I found it. That's it. Found it. Right. Right, should I put it in there? Yeah. Okay.
I'm just adding more comments
Which
as I
ones?
go along.
It's ready, right? So I can make the changes.
Yeah, that inline script tag. I guess, yeah, I'm not too hung up about it being there. You can refactor it later. Just for that ternary operation, please put parentheses around the condition. It's very difficult to see what's happening.
Oh, text equals cancel, right? Okay. Yeah, it's not obvious at all.
Why is there an empty p tag here?
Oh, I didn't bother with it. I didn't bother with the margins and styling, so I put a space in there to separate the two cells in the table.
You can just have it without the paragraph tag, can't you?
I wasn't sure. Well, I no, because in a paragraph that is treated like a line with white spaces in it, and when it's just space between tags, I think they get just squashed and the space is taken out when the page is rendered.
Okay. So why did you need an unsquashed space? I'm sure it
To,
puts.
to separate the cells, because I have two cells on the page and I need to separate them.
Okay.
Well, I
Um,
mean, that should have been done with a margin, like with paddings and margins for the table cells, but I didn't want to bother with CSS for
okay,
the name.
what exactly Hangout status? Where is that exactly? Is it this? Why is there?
No, this is the artifact which was added by John. I didn't notice in the last commit. That is just text. Uh,
Hmm.
but if you edit the link manually,
Oh, hold on. Let me just put a note here.
then you'll see. Yeah, I've deleted that.
Hmm. Okay.
Just edit the link manually. So the just put anything in there.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for
Right.
some pretty to do this. Yeah. So see, I'm putting the space between the category and Scrum. So I'm putting the empty p tag in there
Okay.
in that cell.
Hmm. Just thinking, does it have to be a table?
Well, ideally yes, because there'll be either a table or a numbered list, something like that. But
Well, with Bootstrap, you can
but
just use the
yeah,
classes. There's no need to
but
mark it up.
that's what I'm saying. I just didn't want to bother with CSS, so I just put a cell there, put a space inside.
Yeah, but this looks pretty bad. Anyway, I can give you a quick suggestion on how you can do this, because marking it up as a table doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Padding left. By the way, if you have padding, yeah, there even with the p tag there is nothing, like literally nothing. So we look at
Well,
this. The padding is doing all the separation. There's no need for a second one. Mm, yeah, so this takes almost no space. This empty t with a p tag in
Brian,
it.
give me a couple of days to read the book on Bootstrap, and I will come back with a nicer UI. As I said,
Well,
just
there's almost no need to read a book. You can just go to getbootstrap.com, CSS, and you can
yeah,
find out.
I've done that, but my book is nicer.
Fine.
It was written by one of the guys in the Bootstrap team, and it's actually pretty good.
I can give you a suggestion here, and you can make a quick change.
Hmm.
Because this is a row element. This is inside a row element, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can just use columns like. Uh, Let me give an example. What is it? Mm, Title. So we can have, say, div. Okay, tab doesn't work. Div
Right.
class.
Using a Bootstrap class, then you have to remember about the nesting and the number of columns.
Uh huh.
And that's what I
It's
didn't want to bother with.
it is pretty standard, like 12 column.
Okay, if it's not fluid.
Fluid is also 12 columns.
No, I mean, yeah, but it's 12 columns, but if you do a nested tag, and this would be a nested tag inside another row, then the number of columns must equal to the number of columns in the parent tag. I was just reading about it today.
Not quite. I think that what version of Bootstrap were you reading about? Because now I think when you nest it, because I've done nesting before, you can. It's still 12 in nested elements,
Well, let's just try it, I guess. So,
something like
so
that.
how do you do it? Div class, starting.
Of course, this probably isn't the best. Uh, what are you trying to do? Like this. There is a. I know Bootstrap has a way of doing this.
Well, sure it does.
Yeah, what was it? CSS. No components. No. This group? No.
Ah, by the way, have a look at what's it called? Definitions. Do you have definitions there? Definition.
Definitions.
Yeah, like lists, but definitions. DT tag
Ah,
and DL
yes,
tag.
definitions. That's what I was looking for, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, DL, DT. Yes, this was what I was looking for.
yeah. And I use the horizontal one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
side by side one.
Mm-hmm.
What class is that? Ah, DL horizontal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please use this one.
Okay, so wait a second. Let me. So DL class, DT, DD, and DL horizontal. Right. Okay.
Yep, DT, DL, DT, and DD. Just keep using that.
Brian, can you just scroll up a little bit? Yeah. Right. Okay. I see it. DL class, DL horizontal.
Really don't need that.
Wait, does your Vim close HTML tag?
Close HTML tags. I I can't remember now.
Hmm. Okay, don't bother.
To restart the Hangout. Why are these two in? Why? With 200 button small.
So it looks
Display block.
nicer.
Why? Why did you decide to have it this way rather than side by side? Click to restart, edit manually. Why did you add?
Pressing it.
What? Press this? I mean, why did
Yeah,
you add display block here?
but pressing it, you'll understand why. Just click on one of the buttons and then the other.
That's an interesting. Did manually. Uh-huh.
Yes, so that's why they're the same size and that's why they're in different blocks.
Why not side by side?
Which ones side by side?
These two buttons. Like one can be here, one can be on the right.
Right, because then if you click the edit hangout link well, because they're doing different things.
Uh-huh.
Basically, I mean, if they're on one line, they should be connected in some way, like save and cancel. But they're doing different things. One is editing link, the other one is restarting the hangout. Хорошо.
Точно не должен спать.
То,
Что не можешь спать.
что. Ага.
Вот это.
Yeah. But honestly, Brian, I wouldn't worry about the UI at this point because
Yeah,
I
okay,
mean,
fine.
let me. I'll refactor it on the weekend. I'll read the book. I'll find. I will take care of all those margins, paddings, white spaces and stuff.
I wouldn't bother about dealing it at that level, because that is very difficult. Just use as much as possible Bootstrap Don't worry about
Yeah,
margin
I will.
paddings.
I will. Yeah, but that's what I mean by using the cloud bootstrap margins. It's just
Yeah.
the code for this like took me about half an hour to write, like the JavaScript and stuff. HTML took me about 2.5 hours.
Right.
Because for things like I haven't got a clue how to make forms. I don't understand why those divs just start jumping around the place.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't quite. Well, anyway, I'm not a fan of this expanding up there because the button moves and you have to sort of go up and down to catch it. Anyway, it's just my opinion. Um, right. Anyway, moving on. Sorry. I have Slack. I have Slack notifications enabled. Does this do anything yet?
Yeah, so the problem was, and the problem is that thing is, when we make external requests, we should send them out with webmock, right?
Yes.
Normally, when when the headless browser is being filed, that is being filed in a separate thread, and usually when we stop something out, that doesn't get stopped for the browser. You know how the browser gets started in a separate thread, and in fact, it even hits the data. It doesn't hit it even hits the database. So, for example, things like um, the database cleaner doesn't work with external browser. But anyway, the thing is,
Wait, what?
what,
No. How does the browser affect whether or not the database is hit?
no, listen. When you run the Cucumber test, right? The
Mm-hmm.
Cucumber itself starts Rails, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Cucumber tests are running, they're hitting the database in that Rails instance, the test database.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? But then when you start an external browser, like with Phantom.js or Selenium, whatever, that is being started in a separate thread. Just forget about the database for the moment. But that is being started in a separate thread. And you cannot stop the requests for those for the browser. Because browser is just making requests, it's just bypassing, any stubs. It's bypassing the rack.
Request from the browser. Wait.
The request from the
Request from the.
browser
What
doesn't
kind of request are we talking about?
any request. I mean, if the request to just anywhere, like to
Uh-huh.
Google or to Slack to whatever, it bypasses
Okay.
rack. The browser just does it directly.
Yeah, of course, because browser is not going through rack at all.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I was very surprised to find out that Phantom.js actually cannot make the request because it's not stubbed out. And Cucumber doesn't give any warning signs. I mean, usually when you make a request, the Cucumber writes that a request has been detected, it has been stubbed out, you can stub it out like this, right? Usually it does that. But that's
Yeah.
when Cucumber does the request. Now, I found that the browser was trying to make the request to Slack, but it was failing, and it was failing silently. It wasn't just doing anything. So I put a debug comment, right? And basically I put debug in the controller. So when the browser hit the controller, I tried to do the request manually, and I got a warning that the request hasn't been stubbed out,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of weird. So what I did, basically, I added this line, stubbing out the request. Ah, wait, no, I understand now. Right, okay. It's not the browser making the request. The browser is making requests to the server, and the controller in the server is making the external request to
Mm-hmm.
Slack. Now that external request to Slack has to be stubbed out.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, if you don't stub it out, you don't get any warnings. And that's why it took me time to find out that it wasn't stubbed out.
Okay.
But anyway, this line, that's what it does. If you look at steps, it just stubs out the Hangout URL.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. Fine. Okay.
You know, this definition thing looks really crap. I don't know why. It is centered in the middle. It has no paddings. Okay, I'll make it out. Bootstrap. Bootstrap.
Right, anyway, if it takes too long, then just leave whatever you had before. And remove the empty column in the middle. I mean, table, row in the column in the middle. Because that didn't do anything.
Yeah, I have. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna do DL plus DL result. Ah, I see. That's probably. Okay, it's kind of nicer, but it's in the middle. Ah, wait. There was something like pull right. Pull right?
Uh, well, I
Pull
can't see
right.
it. So I can't give any feedback.
It's just in the
Yeah,
middle.
there is something cool.
Yeah, I remember something like pull right or something. Ah, no, that was the something
That
that was.
won't do much. Yeah.
Is there like a universal way in right, a universal way of aligning things in Bootstrap? Oh, I can see
Nope.
text, but text probably won't work. It's not text, is it? Text. Text left.
I mean, just stick to the table if it's
That's
causing too much trouble. Don't
no,
want
it's
to spend too
okay.
much time on this.
I'm just playing around with it.
Okay. Why is this button cancel?
Shit, I lost the Hangout window. Where is it? Where's the Hangout? All right, okay, found it. What's the cancel button?
Button cancel. Why is this looking by class or ID or whatever rather than text?
Oh, good
Line
point.
68
Yeah, good point.
of
Good point. Yeah,
Hangout feature.
yeah. John's been doing that. Let me change it.
Ah, I'll just put a note there anyway.
Yeah, because he'll be reading it. To um, fiber features.
Why is this not to have CSS visible true instead of visible false? I mean, expect page to have CSS
Yeah,
visible false.
yeah, that's a subtlety about the capybara matches. When you tell it visible true, I mean by default it's visible false. That means when capybara looks for selectors, it looks in the source code. When you tell it visible true, it looks only within the visible elements.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, I'm saying that look within the visible elements and do not find the Hangout button.
Okay.
I know it sounds confusing, but that's the only way
Fine.
to do it through this matcher.
Looks very strange to me, but I get your point.
The other way would be something like do element find blah blah. Ah, no, this is aspect or this is cucumber. All right, yeah, this is cucumber. So another way of doing it would be like button equals page find CSS, and then expect. No, that wouldn't work
Well,
either.
one
Would have to
question
be.
is how does the visibility how is the visibility toggled for the Hangout
Uh,
button?
display none.
Let me look for the Hangout button. Hangout details. So one of this is the Hangout button, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Restart Hangout. Hangout button.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere here. Display. Oh, you're using inline style.
Yeah,
Right.
that's when I wanna extract into a CSS file, but it is toggled by jQuery, and jQuery doesn't so this is only the initial display now.
Yeah,
jQuery toggles it by
that's
display now too.
that. Yeah, that's what makes it harder. If you just have a class like hidden, you can look for CSS hangout button dot hidden. So
Yeah, yeah.
having inline styling makes it significantly more difficult to test. So I wouldn't recommend it anyway. Anyway, fine. Yeah, since that's the way it's done, This is the only way it can be done right now. Fine, I'll leave it at that. What else? Then I should see restart button is not doing anything. Line
Wait a
30
second.
of Hangout steps. There is no expectation.
Then I should see restart button. Yeah, I'll delete this.
Yeah.
Jim Lane is so great.
Please do. Now this given the time is now is more of a general step. Can this be moved to like basic steps?
Yeah, I wanted to do that afterwards. This step and the link step.
Uh-huh.
The step on line 14, I should see a link with the URL.
Uh-huh. Just put a note here anyway. So yeah, that. Don't we have a similar step to this? I'll be surprised if we don't. I should
We
see
don't.
link
No, we
with
don't have chat. We have just I see link.
see link. Fine. Maybe we don't, but I would have thought we would have had that. That seems pretty basic. Anyway.
Yeah, I was
moving
surprised
on.
too. But no, we don't.
Okay. Runner. Yeah, I've seen this. Expect to receive and return. We should not use stubs anymore. I think this is deprecated, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll change that. That was.
Expect.
Oh, edit event. Yeah, that was from. I didn't edit that code. That's the old code.
Okay.
But in fact, Brian, I think I'll just go through afterwards and clear out all the aspect deprecations. And I think it's a good idea for any new pull requests not to give the aspect deprecations.
Yeah. Well, since you are, this is relatively new, can you please update this pull request?
Yeah, I will.
Because I think the refactoring is actually a great story for new members to be doing. That's a great way for them to learn about RSpec and what's been deprecated and the new syntax. So I would suggest if anybody's going to do a refactoring story, it should be paired on.
Sure.
That would be much more beneficial.
But I mean for new features. For new features, the new features should not give any deprecations. So, well, new things people write. People shouldn't write should when they should have been writing expect.
Yeah. And yes, here there is a lot of stubs. And as you said, this is a relatively new specs, show HTML ERB specs. So
yeah, so that
you should be replacing everything with expectors. Yeah, there's a lot of stubs here. My internet is very slow for some reason, so I'm not gonna try and comment on everyone I see, but just like find text in file. Should be able to find a few.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stubs. Why is this commented out? This entire spec? Hangout HTML ERB spec.
Because
Hangout stacks
this
partial.
spec is now inside the events show spec, and to be honest, I just
Uh-huh.
couldn't decide. I just couldn't decide. I mean, should I have a spec for a partial, or should I check it inside the
Uh,
main? Maybe I should have a spec for the partial.
no, I don't think you need a spec for partial. It should be checked inside the actual view. What
The thing
you
is,
should
we
have
might
for
be
sure is
using
commented out file.
right. Thing is,
Yeah, we might be
Brian, what
using it in
about
many places, but in the different context.
um,
Go on.
I don't know. Well, I'm just thinking if we're using it in different places, and I mean, you know, this is a div for Hangout details, right? It's going to be shown
Mm-hmm.
or not shown as a whole. So on a particular place, in different places where we're using it, depending on the context, we either show it or not show it, and we'll check that in the main spec. But the inside the contents of this section might as well be checked in a partial, because that partial is going to be the same for different places.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, if this is actually used, how many places is this used in now?
Well, now one, but the next place is projects.
Okay, well, for now, since it's just one, remove this file. If you actually come to the point where you're introducing it to projects, then consider refactoring it out.
Okay.
But for now, let's not introduce too much, um, you know, stuff that we will refactor later. Things like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of that happening in PR, so
Oh, I've deleted that.
to be honest, things tend to and we'll
Pardon?
just accumulate too much technical debt. I mean, all this about introducing something that we will refactor later is just introducing lots of technical debt that we'll have to pick up later on. So if we can avoid it, just avoid it. Just delete the file.
Okay, I have.
No point having all this stuff. Yeah. Okay. I mean, other than those changes, I'm quite happy with this PR as it is. Once you've submitted the changes, the build is green. Let me just write a note.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just quickly go through.
Once you've made all those changes.
Just let me quickly go through
Go
the
ahead.
comments just to make sure I haven't missed anything out. Okay, so.
Yep. Oh, another thing is this load Hangouts API function. If how many places is it used? Load Hangouts API. Should it only be called once? That's the question.
Yeah, that's why I deleted it from here and I've put it into the Hangouts JS, which is in global modules, and it's been called only once.
There. Okay. Is there really a need to assign it somewhere rather than just having, you know, like a script that function that's executed immediately
Um,
rather than naming it?
I
Well, I
will
guess
have a
naming it
look.
is fine, then executing it.
I will have a look.
Yeah,
Probably
I mean,
not.
okay, fine. I'll just leave it as it is.
There was a reason for that before. Probably not at the moment. I think it's just been run once,
Okay.
and that's it. Probably not.
We don't really need to keep a reference to this to a. Well, anyway, actually, I'm fine with this current implementation. So, yeah, it's fine. Okay, just make those few changes and I'll be happy to merge it in. And please, if Sampriti doesn't do it, please, this add channel, I think, I remember someone saying it sends out emails, so this is very bad. Whoever's in this channel is going to be spammed
Yeah,
with all
if you're
this.
not logged in, it does.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay,
well, I will ask him tomorrow morning
I
again,
can understand.
and then um, should we just
Submit the
comment?
fix
Should
as
we
soon
just
as
comment it
possible. This
out for
is
now?
commented out.
For now,
Sending
until he,
notifications.
yeah, until he fixes it.
I
Until he does.
will.
It will be still working. It will be still working on production. It won't be working on develop, at least, and it won't be
But if we
working on the
comment,
local machine.
uh, we can just introduce a configuration, can't we?
That's what I've been
And it
asking him
should
to
only
do.
be a couple lines. Uh-huh.
That's what I've been asking him to do because
Mm,
ideally he should set up another channel for development and test.
mm-hmm. You can just put a configuration to disable it during development and test. And the separate
You
channel
mean
thing as well. Yeah. If this feature is enabled, then send out the request. If not, we can put additional configuration for channels later. But just like a
okay?
toggle to turn it off and on.
But should we turn it off then? I mean,
That's relatively quick to implement. Yes, because we don't want it to actually send Scrum notifications.
Okay. Brian, do you want me to change the aspect syntax now for this pull request? Although it shouldn't be too
Yes, if
long.
possible.
I'll change that. No problem. It shouldn't be
Yeah,
too
it shouldn't be
long.
too long.
Okay,
If I don't have time, I'll probably be able to merge it in tomorrow anyway, like early morning, as long as there's no huge changes.
no, just these
What
changes
else?
here.
Yes, and if you can do that, and also just a toggle for the Scrum notifications, at least for
Listen,
development and test, to disable it.
so
For
don't spend
production, leave it on.
too much time on it. Can you just um, so what is it? It's where the aha. So we have settings. So we go into the development and okay, it's empty. It's empty. The
Yep,
settings
you can
of that
just,
kind. Yeah.
yeah, settings.yaml.
Okay.
Development and I think test, we don't really have that much customized. What I like to do is put sensible defaults in the settings.yaml, production is usually the exception where I turn on or off features.
Right. Okay.
That's what I
So
think.
okay. So basically, I do the same file as production features, a YAML file, switch off the notifications, and then use the feature check in the controller. Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do
Yep.
that.
That's a good solution for now. Yep. And then I can
Excellent.
safely push that up to production.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Listen,
Although
Brian,
it's a temporary fix.
two questions I have. The first thing is that I've been noticing in the my Rails log when I do the, when I run the tests and stuff locally, that it's been sending out mail to Agile Ventures, the report on failing. Well, at least it says so in the log. I don't
Ah,
actually know if it sends out the mail or not.
sends out. What failures you mean?
Well, if something fails, if I write some code and if it fails, I get like an I don't know, application error, but locally on the machine. In the log, I see this huge output saying sending a report to Agile Ventures, with all kinds of stuff in it, like a debug report.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't
That
know if it
shouldn't
actually
happen.
sends it, but at least it goes through the code for sending it.
Do you have SendGrid enabled?
Or locally, no.
I-
And well, I don't know. Maybe I have some.
Oh,
Listen, I can share the screen. I can show you that.
no,
Let me
this shouldn't be.
let me show you. Yeah, this is it.
Grid, blah, blah. Ah, damn it.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
No, no, that shouldn't be it. No, that shouldn't be it. I don't think it actually sends though. I never received any emails.
Well, it does up to SMTP server. Have a look at my screen. It's on now.
Yeah, although it's a bit small. Okay, sends blah blah. Can you see if it actually sends?
Yeah.
I know it looks like it's rendering.
Mm,
What environment are you running in?
Ubuntu, sir. I mean,
I think
I'm not sure if
only
you have some.
production. I mean, Rails environment. Only production should be
Oh,
sending
test.
out.
Oh, this is development. This
So
is development.
yes, development shouldn't even be trying to render it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There's that's weird. It's definitely checking for it. Oh, so it really does send. But
Yeah.
why? Did you enable custom?
No. No, I didn't touch the
Oh,
configs.
hmm.
This is
Okay.
just this is the
I
code
think I
from
know what that
development.
is. Mhm.
And I think it happened after the features. Well, the kind the time is round about then.
Hmm. I have to think about it. But yes, I think it happens during the features if you're testing custom errors. does that. But
Like I
no,
had
the delivery method should be. No, it delivery method test. Does it actually send it? Because I think the delivery method is always set to test, which means it won't actually send the email.
it probably
It
doesn't.
might
I mean,
render
because
it.
I don't have an
Yeah.
SMTP server on my machine.
Yeah, if then, if I think since the delivery method has been set to test, it's fine. It's
Okay.
safely
Well, just I
disabled.
mean, ideally,
Or
it
it just
shouldn't.
renders it. It looks like it's, but
Listen,
yeah. Well, I
another
shouldn't.
question.
Well, we haven't been spammed. Hmm?
Another question is that lately I've been getting a lot of like these things. Your my screen should update in a second. I'm getting this like huge trace on active record not found. Lib friendly ID, find the methods and find.
Yes, this should be in static pages controller, right? Because by
Yeah,
default, passing in any URL, if it's not caught, it will go to static pages. That's the way it was programmed. So if the URL is just an invalid URL, it will try to look for a static page with that, with the path as an ID or something, and never find it.
yeah, but I understand that. But the thing is, this just happens by itself. When I go to perfectly valid URLs, I just click a link on the website, like to go from the events page to an event. And like, I mean, if you look here, it says started get font awesome web font TTF something processing by static pages controller show as slash. And then parameters
Yeah.
ID font
So
awesome
what you
web font. So it's
hmm?
so
Yeah.
it is
So what do you?
trying to fetch the
It's
font
trying to look
awesome.
for assets.
Right.
Yes, it's trying to fetch assets, but it because of the way the routing is written, if that asset is not found, it's automatically passed to static pages controller, which is not ideal.
Right.
Anyway,
Maybe.
that's how it
Right.
ended.
Okay. Time something to think about it, just to clean it up.
Yeah,
Right. Well, nothing else. These were two things which were worrying me.
cool.
Apart from that, nothing
Yeah.
else. Brian, another question. On the single sign-on for Discuss, there is a method which sort of calculates the hash and stuff for the authentication. Where should we put that? The app lib or just lib?
The method, I whatever you think, just try that out. I personally am starting to not like the lib directory, and I prefer applib because it's really
Mm.
more part of the app, whatever is in the lib directory anyway. I don't really understand why it is a top level lib as opposed to just having like applib. Anyway, put it wherever you want. I would put in
Say we
applib.
put right. Say we put it in the app lib. Should I make like a separate folder for Discuss?
Um, yes. Don't. Do you have a module for discuss already? Perhaps you can just put it in
Mm,
there.
no. It's a partial. It's not a module.
Oh, wait, a
But this,
partial.
yeah, but this one is like. Oh, right. Okay. There is a module for Discuss to initialize the constants, which sort of
Yes.
sounded like a good idea at the time, but then you said that maybe we shouldn't put it in a module at all. And then we decided, okay, let's leave it there until we get the config files, and then just move the constants into the config.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the question is, say I make an app lib directory and I make a discuss folder in it, and then should I make a module for discuss?
Yes. Well, if you still have that module for discuss, then just reuse that module. Where is that at the
Uh,
moment?
it's in config initializers.
Oh, okay. What I didn't like was having modules inside initializers.
Yeah, I remember that. But we'll
Yes.
move that
Anyway,
to
you can.
config file.
Well, now that you have a use for a module, you can just leave it in there.
All right.
The
It
discuss
is
short
actually
name, yeah, it's a constant. Go on.
the discuss method is, well, all it does is just renders something for the page. Another way is just put it in a discuss helper and like include it in the
Uh-huh.
application helper, for example.
Okay. Could do that as well.
That's probably the best thing. But never
Mhm.
mind. Yeah, I
If you want,
was.
okay, whether or not you create a helper or just a plain old module, um, the constant short name should still be here. But this can be assigned to some things from the settings.
Mhm.
What else? You want to have your generate hash function somewhere in here as well.
Mhm.
Just yeah, something like this. That's what I was thinking of. And you can include that module in application helper or whatever if you need to, or just require it in application controller and call explicitly use discuss helper or discuss gen hash, things like that.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll just sort of think about it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. I'll try. Well, all I have now left for the Hangouts feature is the expectation, the aspect syntax. So I'll try to do that tomorrow morning
Okay.
and send
Yep.
a pull request then.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. I'll
Okay,
try and
cool.
review it.
Right.
Probably not a lot to
Yeah,
review.
I've cleaned
Yeah.
up the pivotal track a little to make it cleaner.
Okay.
Looks nice. I have deleted a few
Yeah.
stories which were
Thanks
duplicates
for
in other
that.
stories. Right. Okay. So I'm
Mhm.
off to bed. See you tomorrow then.
Okay. Yep. All right. I'll see you tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have a
Good
good
work
night.
today.